Jumpers, welcome back to another episode of Hyper Heroes here on Hyper RPG. How you guys doing tonight?
Hype it up, Adam.
Hyping it up.
We just got a ton of views.
Guys, thank you so much to all the new subscribers who've come over. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. We got the Star Wars trailer reaction, Justice League trailer reaction. We did 2 episodes. We've been trying to put out as many videos as we can every single week, talking about all the latest stuff. Yeah. I know the first question in the comments is going to be, are you going to do a trailer reaction for New Mutants? Are you going to do a trailer reaction for Stranger Things 2? Yes, we will be doing those. Unfortunately, because of the way that they're dropping them, you know, they're coming out on Friday the 13th. We didn't want to wait till midnight to do the show because we'd be out of here at like 1:30. Yeah, that's a no-fly zone.
No, thank you.
So we're going to do those. They're going to be coming out tomorrow night at some point. Yeah, but we're doing it. We're staying on top of those things.
Let's get that momentum going.
Momentum is going.
No, but for real, I want to thank everybody who just subscribed, who just found us again.
Yeah, you're great. So many people are mentioning like, oh, I didn't know you guys are still doing videos.
Yeah, they're like,
oh,
we're
cool.
Here. Welcome.
Then
hang out.
We apologize. We did a shitty job of letting you know because we definitely put it out there.
That really wasn't our fault.
Yeah, we we definitely put it out there. But yeah, and I know that a bunch of you guys have also commented like on the specific video. Just found this video. You guys are rad. This looks cool. I'm going to subscribe. If you want to keep it going, and again, to kind of let us know what it is you like, what it is you're into, we have a feeling you like trailer reaction videos. I think we're going to keep doing those. But even in this video, you can be like, I subscribed because blank or whatever. Like just so that we can be on top of it.
What I like about this episode is that we have viewer questions this time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, it's been kind of a slow news week. I think like, with New York Comic Con and sort of the drop of trailers, and now we're kind of going into Halloween.
Thor, Justice League.
Thor, Justice League. Yeah, those are the big things. And
Thor, 2 weeks later, Justice League.
Exactly.
Thor, 2 weeks later, Justice League.
We just got that Justice League trailer. I don't know if we're gonna get another Thor trailer. I don't know because they've already been doing some press screenings.
I feel like it's gonna.
We don't need another trailer.
I feel like
they've been putting out TV spots now. That's all they're doing.
If we barely just got the final Star Wars trailer and that shit doesn't come out till December. Thor's like, no, we're good, dude. We're coasting.
Thor, I think we got a trailer. Did we get a trailer at Comic-Con? I don't remember. I think we did.
With Spider-Man?
Oh, yeah, no, because we did that. We did the trailer reaction.
Oh, yeah.
Shorter.
That's
right.
That
classic, so I guess that's the last trailer.
A classic video.
That was
fun.
But yeah, I think right now it's all about TV. And we're going to talk a little bit about TV.
Ooh, yeah. I can actually talk about that.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of the big thing right now until we get to Thor and until we get to Justice League. I think TV's kind of the thing that's taken over. So we thought, perfect opportunity to talk about, obviously.
You guys, I have not watched any of the TV.
Oh, that's all right. I'll catch you up.
I've only watched some of it.
I'll catch you up.
Okay. I've only watched some of it. I know there's certain things that I haven't seen. Like I haven't seen Gifted yet.
Have not seen Gifted yet.
We're taking pictures. Mr. Stark's taking pictures of us right now.
I haven't seen Gifted yet,
Stark
but I did watch.
Throwing up his little clear phone and just hacking our shit. Yeah, I haven't seen Gifted other than that minute trailer.
Two episodes, and people have been saying it's really good. So I'm gonna go back maybe tonight or tomorrow over the weekend.
I still have to watch Legion season 1. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't go back and watch that
either.
Yeah, but I did get to watch Supergirl and
excuse me.
Good morning.
Mexican Coke.
The kind you drink.
Muy delicioso. ¿Quieres coca?
I did get to watch Supergirl and The Flash. We'll talk about this in a little bit. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the movie that keeps shifting, keeps moving, has a director, doesn't have a director, has a release date, doesn't have a release date. Now it has a new release date. Gambit, starring Channing Tatum, directed by Gore Verbinski. February 14, 2019.
Last video, we decided that we were never going to talk about this movie ever again.
I mean, it's the movie
maybe that was just wistful thinking, and that's what I thought in my head.
But then all of a sudden, the Rage on Cajun come back. You hear? Coming back to you with the release date.
With explosive bubble gum.
2019, bon temps.
Oh, man. I mean, if they're locking in 2019 Valentine's Day date, that means that this movie has to start shooting in the next 3 to 4 months. Is it going to happen?
Dude. Hey, man.
I mean,
Adam.
Will it happen? It'll happen.
Y'all know that they have, Hollywood has, I have to point this out. Hollywood has definitely started filming movies before scripts were done. That's how Hollywood works now. That's how a lot of superhero movies work the same way too. And I got to point out too, the first Iron Man movie kind of didn't have a finalized script and they started shooting. And a lot of it was apparently improvised and a lot of it was apparently being written on the day. And you go back and watch that movie and there's a really good structure there and there's really good scenes and there's fantastic performances. And that shit should not have come together as well as it did.
Right.
Listen,
it's kind of miraculous.
Yeah. The Hobbit movies were also written that way, and those are not fantastic.
Men in Black 3?
That was not fantastic.
So why'd you bring up Men in Black 3? That's such a bummer of a movie for me. I really like Men in Black, but that third one.
I love Men in Black.
The first one.
Yeah, me too.
The first one's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited simply for the fact that they finally are committing to something.
Okay, that's fair.
That's the only thing I'm really excited for. I don't think I'm actually going to be excited about the movie itself until, a year from now.
A trailer.
Be sitting here and the first trailer will come out. Or at Comic-Con next year when the first trailer hits.
No.
I think that's the only thing that's going to make me be like, well, how does the movie look? Does it look cool? Okay, I'm kind of excited.
This news just makes me sad. It just, honestly, it does.
It was inevitable. You knew this.
I know, but the way they're handling it now kills any type of hype that they could have generated. Like, they could have spun this in a different way where, like, you know what, we're still working on the script. We're still doing this. We're still doing that. Where they could have been like, maybe get people more excited. And I don't know how, because I think this movie's already a terrible movie, even though nothing's happened. But I don't know. It's been surrounded by a huge series of hype dampening.
That's what I feel.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Both of you.
LaCroix.
Is that how you say it?
Not the Mexican.
I like that. LaCroix.
Everything surrounding this movie is such a downer that I'm not
Let me ask you a question, because you're not wrong. Let me ask you a question, because it's interesting that we always bring up Ant-Man as like the main example we can think of a superhero movie that had like a troubled production.
I thought that was going to be a huge flop.
You did.
Within 12 months.
I remember when we saw the first trailer, you were like not feeling it.
Exactly.
Second trailer, Augustine sort of was
with
convinced,
the little train hitting Ant-Man. Over. That was amazing.
Question for you guys: do you think that this history of this troubled production is something that people will remember after this movie comes out, or you think that it's something like, because I'll bring up this example, the original Watchmen comic book had so many delays between the issues when it was being released in 1986 and 1987. Comic book fans that were waiting remember that, and they'll talk about that, but everybody else just remembers trade paperback collection. Watchmen is all in one go, 12 issues and I'm done, and it's awesome and it's amazing, and it was delayed because they were doing it right, and so people don't remember that little issue.
But that's Watchmen.
That
novel, that graphic novel changed how people view comic books.
That's not going to happen with Gambit.
That
the
doesn't
movie.
happen with Gambit. Gambit doesn't have that kind of thing. Gambit is a side character in the X-Men, and he's great at being the side guy in the X-Men. Can he carry his own movie? You guys are all over the fucking place today, man.
That was a good little Gambit move. You just telekinetically you blew up a little.
Is not a leading character. Sorry to say, for all you Gambit fans out there, I'm not trying to talk shit about Gambit.
I think they would agree. He's awesome as this sort of side element of a team. You know what I mean? He's like the bad boy of a team.
He's the spicy of the team. He's the raging Cajun. Like
the Cajun spice.
It's just frustrating. I'm gonna watch the trailer. I'm hoping we get a good product, because obviously nobody wants to watch a shitty movie. I don't want to waste my time. I'm sure those people who are working on the movie don't want to waste their time. It's shitty. The circumstances that all this has come about, and there's no hype behind it.
I think the one thing that I am glad, though, is like we haven't really... The public doesn't really know why it's been delayed. Like, we know it's been sort of a story script thing, but we don't know how bad that script was or how good it was and how maybe they wanted to improve it, or the sort of the flexibility that they got after Deadpool and Logan's success.
Are you doing best case scenario right now?
Yeah.
Are you doing like best case scenario now? It's like an awesome script.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I know. I mean, hopefully everything that has happened from this point on has only made the movie better, which is what's supposed to happen.
Right.
That's why you delay scripts, because you're waiting for things to get better.
Good luck, Channing. Good luck, Channing. Good luck.
I'm hoping.
Good luck, C-Tates.
I'm hoping he's got a bomb-ass idea in his head that he's just like, I have to do this movie, and it comes out like a Deadpool movie. That was Ryan Reynolds' baby. The only reason that movie got made was because that video got leaked on the internet. And what happened? We got Deadpool amazing. Made buku bucks, and hopefully Gambit goes that way, but I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it.
Can lightning strike in the same place twice? We'll find out in 2019.
What are you the god of again? Thunder. Lightning strikes 3 times. Thor Ragnarok.
3 times, baby.
Which I hear is actually really, really good.
I can't wait.
Can't wait to see it.
The reviews are really positive.
Speaking of Thor Ragnarok, at the press junket or the press conference for Thor Ragnarok, and obviously had the whole cast. The whole cast was there. Taika Waititi, Kevin Feige was there, and there were some questions directed toward Tessa Thompson. She's apparently one of the standouts in the movie as Valkyrie.
I hear she kills it.
Creed.
Oh man, she's so great. She's 34. I did not know that. I thought she was like 25.
Oh really?
Yeah.
First of all, black don't crack.
Black
even
cracks.
for 34-year-old people that are black, don't crack. Nope. Secondly, she only maybe because she's
So
like kind of a little bit of a newcomer.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? But
That's
it's one of those things. I bet she's been working for 10 years.
Probably. Well, I mean,
she's been working for 10
done
years.
Movies like Selma and I think Dear White People. So she's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But so basically, the press conference, they were asking questions, random questions throughout the audience, and asking, if there was a possibility of getting a solo Valkyrie movie. And she basically asked this to Kevin Feige, and Kevin Feige said. Or Tessa Thompson says, recently I marched up with going back, that Kevin Feige said that's a pretty good idea about her getting a standalone Valkyrie movie. Now, being a standout character, we also know that she's going to appear in Infinity War. She'll probably show up in Avengers 4, depending on what happens with the story.
Yes.
But Tessa also did talk about sort of approaching Kevin Feige with a lot of the other female actresses.
Here's what I love, that word, marched up. I love that.
She's talking about how she kind of approached Kevin Feige with a lot of the female actresses in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And she says, recently, I marched up with a couple of other women who work in Marvel and asked Kevin, how about a movie with some female superheroes? Like all of them. And Feige said, it was a pretty amazing moment to be somewhere and have your shoulder be tapped and turn around, find every female hero we have is standing there going, how about it? And I said, yes.
How? Okay, keep going.
Yeah, keep going. This is great.
Yeah.
I like what I'm hearing. Keep going, keep going.
No, my brain is just going a million miles an hour.
So, and then obviously Tessa Thompson replies with, there's a precedent for it in the comics with the Lady Liberators. And Kevin Feige genuinely was surprised and said, deep cut. Lady Liberators, deep cuts.
They did their homework before they approached it.
Oh, you know it. I mean, first of all, why would you not make this movie? There are so many cool heroines. We've got Valkyrie. We've already got Scarlet Witch. We've already got Black Widow. We've got the Wasp. We've got... Who else do we have? We've got...
say those again. Valkyrie,
Black Widow,
Wasp, Scarlet Witch.
We've
got Nebula... Or Gamora, sorry.
Gamora and Nebula.
Gamora and Nebula, sure.
You can go back all the way to... You just got to go movie by movie. No joke. Pepper Potts.
Was Pepper Potts in that group? Was she in that group or was she gooping it up?
In the comics?
No. I mean, did she go up to Kevin Feige?
We don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, he says he turned around, and I imagine it was probably Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
It may have been Zoe Saldana. Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah.
It depends on where they were and what the deal was.
It may have even been slapped one of those cleansing stickers on his forehead that she sells for $125.
It may have been Cate Blanchett, who plays the female villain Hela. It's like, when you cast Cate Blanchett, what else could you do with the female villain Hela? And this also reminds me that, like, the rumor is that after Marvel broke off from Marvel Entertainment and Marvel Studios was like, we just want to report to Disney because we don't like Ike Perlmutter, who's giving us bullshit notes for Iron Man 3 saying you can't have a female villain, it's not going to sell toys. Meanwhile, they didn't even make the new toys, so I don't even know what he's talking about. But like that originally they wanted to have Maya Hansen's character maybe kind of be the villain in Iron Man 3. And then because of that note, it turned to Aldrich Killian, who became the kind of pseudo-Mandarin, but really that extremist warrior Aldrich Killian. So like you're hearing all of this, and as soon as they broke off, female villain in Thor Ragnarok, Cate Blanchett. You know what I mean? Like that they're able to make that call. We're still waiting for that sort of female-centric movie. Well, now we know we're getting Captain Marvel. Next year we're getting Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Captain Marvel was the other one.
Captain Marvel was that announced after that sort of split of like we're doing Black Panther, we're doing Captain Marvel?
No, but I'm saying Captain Marvel's probably another one of those characters.
Of course.
It would be great to introduce these characters in Captain Marvel.
You could do, here's the thing, you could even go back, get Liv Tyler, Betty Ross.
Yeah,
think about the possibilities. You could somehow
Pepper
include,
and Betty Ross and like what's her name?
Somehow include
Agent Hill.
Maria Hill. You could include Agent Sharon Carter.
Yes.
Of S.H.I.E.L.D. You could also include as a flashback Peggy Carter in some sort of imagine some sort of like decade-spanning mission where like the women of the Marvel Universe are maybe dealing with like whatever the case may be, whatever the thing may be. You could even include Peggy Carter. I mean, I'm talking we can go movie by movie in this, dude. You could use Lady Sif from Thor.
Lady Sif with
Jamie Alexander would be fantastic.
They have so many great actresses in the universe, and a lot of those characters I don't want to say they get sidelined, but they don't necessarily get as much due as like Captain America or Iron Man.
It's the same with any of their supporting characters, who I think that all of these movies have really great supporting casts.
Yeah,
sure. They're black characters, have never had a starring role, but my God, Sam Wilson Falcon is such a great character.
Heimdall.
Nick Fury is such a great character. Heimdall has been underutilized, and everybody knows it. Idris knows it. Like, all of these different characters. You go to the one Latino character, Luis, Michael Pena, an amazing actor, kind of underutilized. He steals the scenes he's in, but it's still a thing of like these characters don't have leading roles yet. Of the supporting characters, the ones that have been given leading roles so far are going to be Spider-Man and Black Panther, because they were introduced in Captain America: Civil War in sort of supporting roles, and they crushed it, and they did a great job. That it was like it just made that appetite for those solo movies even bigger and better. But it's like, you want to talk about the Lady Liberators for a second? Let's talk about the Lady Liberators.
I don't know anything about the Lady Liberators.
Boom, baby. You want to talk about research? I had to bust out my official handbook of the Marvel Universe, volume
just so
6.
you guys know, when me and Hector started becoming better friends, Hector had bought, he was slowly collecting this encyclopedia, and at work reading
volumes.
them on his downtime, just absorbing all the information.
That's
if
how
he
you
could
do
absorb it through osmosis, he would have, but he's literally an encyclopedia.
Here are the former members of the Lady Liberators. Medusa is another one. Probably not going to use the Inhumans character for the TV show. Sorry.
Lord, hope not.
Scarlet Witch, Valkyrie, Wasp are the former members. Current members, as of 2008, this is already outdated. As of 2008, I'm sure that they've been used since then, since this. Current members, Black Widow, Hellcat, Patsy Walker from Jessica Jones.
Nice.
Dude, if they even had a Jessica Jones cameo, Elektra.
In our dreams.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
In our dreams.
Invisible Woman.
Okay.
Pipe dream, but still, like if this
you
happens
never
as
know,
a Phase
man. You
4
never
thing,
know.
they get the rights. You could bring in
They
Sue
get
Storm.
Fantastic Four for Phase 4.
Guys, maybe my favorite female superhero character of all time, She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. That's what I was
Jennifer
going to say.
Right, that's
Walters.
right. She-Hulk. Yeah.
So when I tweet, I saw that Nerdist posted
Way to
this thing
intro
today.
that. Yeah.
Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk. This is without appearing in like a solo Hulk movie, which we may never get.
We're not.
A female-centric Avengers crossover thing might be the perfect place to introduce a new actress playing Jennifer Walters / She-Hulk. Have a Mark Ruffalo cameo.
And
but then
Hector's head
She-Hulk.
would explode.
Oh my God. She-Hulk. Then Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew.
Yeah.
At this point, with what I'm hearing, with the rumors that I'm hearing about Marvel and Sony's deal, they might have the rights to Spider-Woman. They might, you know what I mean? This might be the place to introduce Spider-Woman or Spider-Gwen. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but Spider-Woman,
badass.
Jessica Drew.
Super stylized Spider-Gwen movie. Oh my God.
Storm, Aurora Monroe, Storm of the
Pipe
X-Men,
Dream, Pipe
Dream. But
Yep.
then also a character named Thundra, who's kind of been a good guy, bad guy in the past. She's this big sort of super strength character. Tigra, who's another kind of like a B, C-list Avenger character, but very important in the Avengers history, which is like she's a woman that basically has tiger abilities, and she's always in a bikini and comics. And then like a new iteration of Valkyrie. But those are the characters. First appeared in 1970 as a joke.
You've literally got already all these characters in your movies, practically.
And again, and there's even
Build off of that.
There's even other iterations of like female-centric teams as of just a few years ago, maybe like 2015. A-Force. I got that big action figure set from Comic-Con. The A-Force had like, it had like America Chavez, right? She-Hulk. I think Medusa was in it. Singularity was this new character. They had all the female Marvel characters as just like an Avengers squad. And yeah, dude, it just seems like a no-brainer.
I mean, I'd be honestly, if we went to Comic-Con next year or the year after, and Kevin Feige was like, "We're going to build up to the Lady Liberators," I would be super excited.
I'm really excited. Now, who's the villain?
It's either I'll tell you right now. It's either Hela. I've already thought about this.
Okay.
It's either Hela.
Depending on her fate in Thor.
Yes, and because she is like that powerful.
I mean, she can't die, really. She's like the
right.
Lord of Death.
She's like that level, right? Yeah, depending on her fate. But she's like she could be like a Thanos level. That's what I'm saying. You could bring back, like I said, Liv Tyler to play Betty Ross / Red She-Hulk, which means like she's on a rampage. We need the Lady Liberators. We need Jennifer Walters Hulk. They could go that route. You could do Sin, the daughter of the Red Skull, Johann Schmidt, who is a woman who's at first normal looking, and then eventually she gets the Red Skull thing happen to her face. There's just so many different ways you could go about it. You could do female Iron Man villains, Madame Mask. You could do, in the way that there's an Avengers team, you could do the Evil Avengers or the Masters of Evil, but all female characters. Every one of these superhero characters has a prominent female villain that you could pull from. and put them on that team, and then you're good to go.
Big old group, massive fight.
You know, and it would obviously be something that would be like, because look at how successful and culturally important Wonder Woman was. And there's this great competition between Marvel, DC, Disney, Warner Brothers. This could be one thing that
really set a high bar.
Disney, Marvel could be like, cool. You guys beat us to the punch. You got that female-centric movie out there first.
Now check this out.
We're working on Captain Marvel.
Lady Liberators.
But we have the luxury of kind of having been at it for a little longer. We have all these characters. We could throw them all. We could basically do Captain America Civil War, but with just mainly female characters. Male characters would still be in it. It would mean so much. It could make sense story-wise, and it could be this fun... Like, imagine if you were involved in Marvel, you're an actress involved in Marvel. How could you turn this down?
Yeah.
They could they could bring back Natalie Portman even with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, can we get a Jane Foster cameo in this? And she could be like, I don't want to do Marvel stuff. And then somebody slides this her way. Like, here's what it is, though.
She's like, yeah.
She'd be like, yeah, dude, this sounds fucking dope. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same as giving it's not the same as giving Black Widow her own movie.
Yeah.
That could still happen, but it's sort of like, why not both?
Yeah.
¿Por qué no los dos? Like, do this team thing and then also start building towards these other.
Right.
It's just a
Maybe
great hype
that's
machine.
how they're going to lead off Phase 4.
I got
be
really
awesome.
excited about
I mean,
this,
How
dude.
cool
Like,
would that be?
When I read this, I got super excited about it because to have a lot of these characters, and we've established so many great female characters and so many great actresses play those characters.
Yeah.
We've been with Scarlett Johansson since 2010 as Black Widow. We've been with Pepper Potts since 2008. A lot of these other characters, this is going to be their first movie we're going to see them in. We haven't seen a movie with them yet, or they've only been in a few movies, but they've been in like very small parts, like Lady Sif. But to be able to bring these characters in from all these different worlds too, because I think that's the big difference between the Avengers and what Lady Liberators could be. Is you now have characters that are like from space, from all these different,
which could all
happen
universes. Post Avengers Infinity War.
Right,
that's when everything coalesces, and it's like, well, now the floodgates
most
are
of the
open.
Avengers are Earthbound Avengers.
Correct.
Right.
You know, the Guardians I think are going to be the most outer space sort of element to it, and you know, obviously Star-Lord is from Earth. He doesn't reside anymore, but most of those characters are very much from Earth. But to have, you know, Valkyrie, Sif, and all these other characters, or Captain Marvel, a character who's like really dealing with the cosmic universe.
And because since this is just like an idea at this point, if they ever did it, it would come out after Captain Marvel, which you would think, okay, if that takes place in the 90s, are they doing a Captain America thing where they're bringing her to the present day? You know, there's easy ways to sort of bridge all these worlds. I just even had another thought. Imagine if there's a Ant-Man's daughter Cassie cameo where even she goes into stature, giant girl for a second. Just that little girl actress. Like every actress they've had could be so dope. And then with a Jessica Jones cameo, that would be so tight.
You know, it'd be great if Jessica Jones found this woman named America Chavez somewhere in New York. There's your Captain America break off.
Yeah.
Boom. Everything is there.
I know.
Everything is there for this to be amazing.
Well, I think the great thing about Tessa Thompson coming in Kevin Feige with this is maybe it's something that honestly he wasn't even thinking about. Maybe he's looking sort of at the success of each individual character and what people are responding to and going, maybe there's potential for a solo movie. Maybe there's a potential for this or that. But to actually come to him and say Lady Liberators, I think that really influences, inspires a lot of ideas of we can now kind of build towards this big brand that's Avenger level.
It's there.
But then also like spin off and do different
They'd have to
movies.
change the name. I don't think Lady Liberators would be be taken seriously as a superhero. I say you call it A-Force because that's kind of Avengers related anyway.
A-Force?
A-Force.
Okay.
That's the team. That's the squad. What'd you
I
think
thought you said something else.
Oh, okay.
A-holes?
A-Force. Am I right?
What are you?
Bunch of bays. No, it'd be A-Force.
I think it'd be a really cool idea, though. And I think now at this point we've had so many movies with a lot of these same characters to do something that's such a big drastic change, but to still have those characters kind of sprinkled in some way, some sort of a mention, some sort of a cameo capacity, and we're still going to get movies like Black Panther, Spider-Man, you know, a lot of these other characters that they're going to start introducing.
We got that shit. That shit's
That's
covered.
covered.
It's covered.
Hulk is going to get a sort of an arcing story between, you know, the two Avenger movies and Thor Ragnarok. So they're really trying to work out these characters.
If something like this happens, Scarlett Johansson needs a huge role because she's been done such a disservice.
Really,
in the Marvel Cinematic
I was
Universe.
thinking about this.
Her and Captain Marvel could lead.
She could be the
logistically,
what's his face?
the lead could be Scarlet herself.
Yeah,
and if you want to if you wanted to do the thing where they've technically said she was born in 1984
right.
to set her at whatever age Scarlett Johansson's age is, but they could even do that thing where they're like, actually, Natasha Romanoff,
serum in her.
has been around since World War II. So she met Peggy Carter, flashback scene. So she met Carol Danvers in the 90s, flashback scene. Like they could do anything that they want. But I feel like a character like Black Widow would absolutely be like the grounding central character, and then everything else would be lining up for cameos. And it would just be like
she
A-list,
the Nick Fury.
Ocean's 11
She's the Nick
style.
Fury of that part of the universe.
Is like you'd like the spy, but just
exactly
the female,
but just
like
the female version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think is so
we just
cool.
wrote this fucking movie, man.
Which I think is so cool because like I think you need sort of that grounded character that the audience can sort of relate to, and then sort of get an insight as to how she connects with these other characters who have all these crazy powers.
I mean, she
compared
can
to her
be anywhere in the world. Like, look, she got Bruce Banner hiding in the middle of India.
Right.
You know, he was literally trying to hide. He knows how to hide.
Remember that shot in Avengers: Age of Ultron right at the beginning where like all the heroes are jumping in slow-mo? Like imagine that and a final fight with all the female Marvel characters.
Imagine She-Hulk in the
like,
front though, Hector. Imagine She-Hulk in the front.
I love it.
God,
I love
awesome.
Jennifer Walters. That would be so
cool.
awesome.
Be so cool.
It's like they need a lawyer. I know just the one. Cut to Jennifer Walters in
Green
LA.
lawyer.
Like, what? And then she just
in the courtroom.
fucking
Innocent. That'd be really cool. We'll see though. I mean, we'll see. Well, I'm really curious what happens at Comic-Con next year because we sort of have an idea. You know, we're gonna get Avengers 4, so
Sure.
we'll find out next year. I think it's gonna be
Phase
the
4,
big
y'all.
year. Yeah.
What's Phase 4?
Is it Phase 4?
You
What
better
is
tell
it?
us you got the rights to the Fantastic Four. Come on,
Come
man.
on,
Is that
son
why
of a
it's going to
bitch.
be Phase 4? Confirmed.
That'd be
Fantastic Four
awesome.
coming back for Phase 4.
Let's talk about some TV stuff.
Cool.
How many of the CW?
I seen them all, baby. I seen
all the
them
CW
all.
shows.
Yeah.
Any other shows from Marvel?
No, other than
Agents
the
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Inhumans. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Inhumans has been back or has
Okay.
been airing.
I need to catch up on that.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't.
To be honest with you.
I haven't caught up, but I haven't brushed it off. Like I will see the
Yeah.
whole first season.
Yeah.
It's just not a priority.
Yeah, for me, I really wanted to check out Supergirl and I wanted to check out Flash.
I even saw the first episode of Lucifer.
Oh, did you?
Which was a lot of fun. Like and they're back. They're like shooting in LA now, which is cool. And but I saw Arrow, Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow.
Cool.
Those are the 4.
Cool. I haven't seen Legends and Arrow because they're airing tonight,
Yeah, that's right.
and you get a little preview.
Oh, Hector's got special
I got a
access.
sneak peek. I got a sneaky peek.
Well, what did you think overall about the season premieres? The ones that you can at least talk about. Which at this point, because this airs on Friday, you can talk about them all.
I can talk about. Well, I'll say this about Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Arrow had an ending that I was like, no joke. I was like, damn, they're doing that? Tight.
Really?
And it made me
Okay.
want to immediately watch the next episode.
Cool.
Like
Okay.
a really good ending. And if you follow Arrow, it's like this. People are like, which one should I be most excited about? And I said, whichever one of those shows is your favorite, you will not be disappointed. Because if your favorite is Supergirl, I think it comes back really strong. And it was really emotional. And I really liked those characters. And the action was dope. So I'm like, Supergirl, solid. If you care about The Flash, I know a lot of people didn't love the last season. They didn't like the ending. Despite all that, I feel like The Flash is the heart of all of those shows. It really has the best supporting cast. I think Cisco is the best character out of any of the shows. He's my favorite character. So, like, he gets spotlight front and center. He's Vibe working with Kid Flash because the Flash is gone. He's in the Speed Force. Barry is dead. He's gone.
Right.
But then something happens where they need to save Barry from the Speed Force. And it's like Cisco steps up. He's like, I think I got it. And just the emotion in that. However you feel about these characters, I have grown over a couple seasons to love Candace Patton as Iris Allen.
She was great in this
Iris
episode.
West.
She was really great.
Iris West. I thought she was really good.
Yeah.
So you saw the episode. I thought she was really, really good. And anything with her and Joe, her
Yeah.
dad, I love. And like, I thought, and there was even a cameo from not really a cameo, but like, what's her name? The character Peekaboo from season 1. And
Right.
it's like they've built it up over enough seasons that they're running on all cylinders. They're firing on all cylinders. Get to Legends of Tomorrow, which is premiering tonight.
It's a Thursday show. Yeah?
Thursday show, yeah. Actually, it might be a Tuesday show with The Flash.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't get a chance to catch up. On that.
Honestly, Legends of Tomorrow might be my favorite because it's so goddamn
Really?
funny.
Right.
It's so funny.
Well, I think
It's
Legends of Tomorrow
hilarious.
really just
I
kind of
love it.
accepts the fact that it's kind of a cheesy
It's
sci-fi
the
show.
most comic
and
booky.
It's fun.
It's like we all grew up loving I don't know about loving, but we saw Xena Warrior Princess, Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. Remember that? Remember that 2-hour block on a Saturday afternoon?
That. And then I turned it off when Star Trek came on.
Star Trek: The Next Generation, or whatever, Deep Space Nine,
whatever
Voyager.
it was,
But like that vibe of that of those shows, Legends of Tomorrow's like, yep, we're that, and it just leans into it, and it's like there's an episode coming up with there's a reference to the Titanic, and Victor Garber is on the show. He plays Professor Stein. Yeah. Victor Garber was in the movie Titanic. He played the guy. He played the guy who built the ship, who designed the ship. Yeah. So when the Legends of Tomorrow are time traveling, they're like, "There's a time anomaly," and I think this came out in a trailer already. I think there's a time anomaly in 1912, and they're like, "Oh, maybe we can go visit the Titanic." And then Victor Garber's character, Professor Stein's like, "The Titanic. I'm never stepping foot on that ship. Whoever designed that should be shot. He should die." He's like, "Whoever designed that ship should die," and it's like cool. He did, and you played him. It's that kind of shit where it's like they have fun with it.
Yeah, and you have to. You have to because it's so. Again, it's one of those shows that it's so ridiculous. All the characters are so ridiculous.
And it makes me have fun with it.
Yeah,
and
it's the type of show that because of what they do, because of the time traveling and having to go all these different times, it could be a very expensive endeavor.
Yeah.
So I think for them it was like, how do we do this on a budget that's limited, using limited resources and still making it fun? Let's just make it kind of cheesy and kind of embrace that and write really quippy, funny dialogue and make those sort of references where the audience will laugh with us and not at us.
And the same thing
that works so well for that show.
That the Flash and Arrow have been doing for seasons and building up all these side characters that they built up enough of them that you can have Brandon Routh's Ray Palmer as the Atom on that show. And I love his character.
He's crossover so episode where he makes a joke where he sees Kara and he's like, reminds me of a what
my
is
cousin.
Reminds me of my cousin.
She looks just like my cousin. God damn it!
Dude,
I love
really
that shit.
That's awesome.
I love that shit.
It's so great.
That's the type of thing that Legends brings to it. And I think I covered them all. That's everything. Like Supergirl was great, Flash was great, Arrow was great.
The thing about Supergirl that I was really, really impressed with, and obviously when it was on CBS, I think it had a bigger budget because it's a bigger network and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I was really impressed with the visual effects. The opening shot of Supergirl. She is basically doing a Superman Returns moment where she's hovering over the city and the camera's going around her and she's just listening to all the sounds, listening to find out where there's crime. But the way the cape is just floating and flapping in the wind, it's just like everything. The flying looks really well done. I think a lot of times in shows where you have a lower budget and you have to kind of compromise the visual effects. When it's a character who flies, the flying is kind of done in a cheap way where it's like, you don't see them and
just
all that kind of stuff.
blur. Yeah.
It looks really, really good. All of her powers look really well done. Even stuff when you have to like have set pieces falling and all this stuff is happening. It's so well done. And even Flash, I feel like they really have been investing more into these shows, and I think it pays off because I think a lot of times the sort of the running stuff, they recycle a lot of plates.
Yeah,
sure.
Whereas with this, they're actually trying to utilize new stuff.
That means for people that don't know, like backgrounds and
backgrounds and
like
even stuff of characters
and stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's looking a lot better from what I remember. And yes, they were very emotional episodes, and I think maybe some people didn't like that as much, but I enjoy that because to me it kind of gives me sort of an entry point to where the characters are, where they've been. On Supergirl, they're dealing with a lot of emotions, and Kara's going through a lot because of things that have happened with Mon-El.
She lost the love of her life, so it's like they're dealing with that.
Her sister's also going through a lot because she's getting married, and it's just a lot of pressure. And we kind of know from just our own society how there are pressure on people who are gay, and all that kind of stuff. So I think like they're real.
You're right. That was a really interesting,
like real human thing.
Yeah, and that was a really interesting like B plot.
Yeah,
and it became really like I'll just do a spoiler.
Yeah.
Here's a spoiler. Alex Danvers, right? She's the one that doesn't want a big wedding.
Right.
And then her fiance, she's
Maggie,
like, Maggie's like, is this because you're like embarrassed? Because Alex is like, basically came out and realized that she was gay like during the course of the show. Yes. Maggie knew as a character before she came onto the show. So Maggie's like, is this because you're still sort of like, ashamed, scared, processing it, whatever the case may be? And then Alex reveals, no, it's because I realize that my dad isn't going to be able to walk me down the aisle.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you hear, and I heard that and I was just like, fuck, man, that's so great. That's so relatable and sad and really interesting sort of like, it's just a cool little relationship as a B plot to explore.
Totally.
And then you get invested. And I really like that actress. And it took me a while to realize like, oh my God, that's Kyler Lee from Not Another Teen Movie, which I love that movie. Like, Not Another Teen Movie, again, starring Captain America, Chris Evans. Like, that's a great movie. Anyway,
and the moment with her and John Jones.
Yes, where she asks John Jones, Martian Manhunter, will you walk me down the aisle? Like, those kinds of things where you're like,
so real and raw.
Either you're into that or that show's not for you.
I love
like,
it.
Even just thinking about that, I could choke up.
I was watching it at work, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh god,
I'm emotionally compromised.
Like I love the fact that they really invest in the emotional side of these characters. That they really make the relationships feel real. And they do give them elements that are true to life. And I think the same thing goes for the Flash. Like, you're talking about how it's the heart of the show. To me, like, Candace Patton was so great as Iris. You really feel her loss, and you feel sort of the weight and the pressure on her shoulders to still perform in Barry's absence and to kind of just go on with everything, and you still have to protect Central City. And your brother's in the middle of this with Cisco.
And because they know that, like, he's still kind of technically alive, Augustine, like, they haven't had a funeral.
Exactly.
But it's still this thing where he's been gone for 5 months.
Her dad is like, should we have a funeral? She's like, what are we going to bury? An empty suit? Like, it deals with a lot of, like, a lot of the stuff that they talk about, I think, is so... It mirrors so much what a lot of people in just like reality go through. And it's cool to kind of see that addressed in the forefront of a superhero show. That can kind of just be whatever it wants to be, but it really does have this humanity to it. And I think for a lot of people, they can relate to it. And I think that's what makes those shows fun. So
that's like meat and potatoes for me. That's what the story should be about, Like, it's great to have big superpower. I love the superpower stuff. But if there's no emotions behind it,
there's no weight. It doesn't matter.
Like, why am I going to care about this fight?
Yeah, and I think that's what makes those CW shows so great. Sometimes the writing isn't the best. Sometimes the execution isn't the best. Overall, maybe the season's not that great. But there are moments throughout the season where you have a lot of heart. And you have a lot of heroism and optimism and just fun. And I think that's what, for me, makes those shows something that I do want to revisit. It happens, honestly, it does happen less in a lot of other shows, a lot of other superhero shows. Some of them do different things because they're not that type of a show. Their tone is different, and that's totally fine. But for what these shows are, the fact that they kind of embrace that, I think, they do have a lot of heart. And it's really cool to see that the DC universe has 4 or 5 shows on television. They all do similar things, but they also do things very differently with a lot of different characters.
Seems like they're all killing it too.
Yeah, doing a really good job. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man.
Before we go,
we're
gonna answer some questions.
Okay.
I put out a tweet. I also went to our Discord. Guys, if you want to become a part of our Discord, you can do so by hitting us up on Patreon, becoming a patron, or you can subscribe to us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/HyperRPG gives you instant access to our Discord. We've got a bunch of different really cool channels dedicated for different shows, but we do have a movies and TV one where we talk about stuff all the time. So I went in there and I tried to get some questions from you guys, make sure you guys are also included in the show every single week. So the first question comes from Snowy Noe, who says, what has been your favorite live-action superhero show and favorite animated superhero show?
Oh, that's so tough.
Live action is Supergirl.
Cool.
Okay. Supergirl's been my favorite. Animated, that's a tough one because Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes was amazing. Young Justice was incredible. The Green Lantern Corps was also amazing.
Green Lantern, the animated series,
if we're going to call it, they're not superheroes, but they are. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shows kills everything.
Comic book,
they are doing amazing right now.
Yeah, the 2012 show is
they're doing so good. The Nickelodeon show right now.
For me, I would have to go with, if I'm looking at all the superhero shows that I've seen, I really like season 1 of Heroes. Really like
we're going that far back. Okay.
Really overall, I think Smallville was also a really good show. Prominently in its first 4 seasons, I thought it was the strongest. I think the life lessons and sort of the things that you learn from Clark Kent growing up as a teenager, how relatable it is for a lot of people, even though he has all these superpowers. It's him going through puberty and sort of maturing and having a lot of connections with the audience, I think was really cool. Favorite animated superhero show? For me, honestly, it's got to be a toss-up between Batman, the animated series, and Superman, the animated series. Those were 2 shows that I loved. Batman Beyond was also great, though.
Yeah. God damn. My favorite might be... I think the one that kind of blew me away still was it might have been Jessica Jones. I was so impressed with how they took the tone of that comic that I really, really love and threw it up there. I mean, God, but also I really do like The Flash. I really like Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah. That's a good one too.
For real. And I even like, even though it doesn't really hold up the best, John Wesley Shipp Flash.
Oh,
like,
God. That
going
show's
back
so
and watching
fun,
that,
man.
and it's like, shit, dude, that was some cool stuff that they were doing.
Mark Hamill's the trickster.
I also really love,
great.
Lou Ferrigno Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
Like Lou Ferrigno,
for
because
sure.
Bill Bixby was like, he's still the best.
He was
banner.
in it, man.
He's still the best banner.
Yeah.
Bill Bixby, man. Mwah,
So
love
good.
that.
So
Animated,
good.
probably not the best. I think I might go with my personal favorite, Batman Beyond,
Batman
or
was so
maybe a
good.
second place,
Static Shock.
Justice League Unlimited,
Static Shock.
or the Spectacular Spider-Man. I couldn't even narrow it down to one. I'm gonna go Batman Beyond. And
Yeah,
I'll
that's
go,
why I said 4.
Jessica
I
Jones.
mean, it's really hard because over the years,
Good
even
question.
in just like 30 years, there have been
Yeah.
so many good,
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
and so many bad
animations.
ones,
Yeah.
but so many
A lot
good
of bad
ones.
ones, but a lot of
Yeah.
really, really good ones.
You want to take the next one?
Yeah, sure. Gaiaka
Gaika.
asks, which animated superhero show do you wish someone would make? Oof. Animated superhero show. Well, I would have said Invincible, but they're already doing a movie, and I feel like it deserves a movie, and that's cool. Maybe I don't know, man. Animated superhero show.
For me, it would be Static Shock.
Like bring it back. Like do a new
Bring back
iteration of
Static
Static
Shock.
Shock.
Either as
I'm there.
either that or maybe as like a Netflix
Well,
series.
you know what's dope? Yes, and you know what's dope is that DC just announced at New York Comic Con that they're going to do a full-on Milestone sort of universe line of different characters. They're bringing back a lot of the Milestone characters, which were like prominent black superhero characters and people of color superhero characters and stuff in their own little universe, which is cool, but it's also not cool because it's also kind of separated, you know. But imagine if they did an animated series where they're like, we're doing Static again, and then you'll see cameos from other characters.
That'd
and
be
let's-
awesome.
You know what I mean? Let's really blow it out and let's see what hits, and then we can do maybe a spinoff from that. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I would love to see a Netflix series of Static Shock
Ooh,
or
I-
some sort
I
of a
got,
series.
I got another answer. Black Panther.
Oh,
Black Panther.
Snap, son.
Before, like, I remember hearing Ife Wadaway saying that should have already been in the pipeline.
Yeah.
So that when the movie comes out next year,
Yeah.
it's with season 1 of Black Panther, the animated
Little kids
series,
are
and
already
just-
raving about it.
That's and animated wise, you could go full out with
Yeah,
it. You could
yeah.
do so many things that are very expensive. Wakanda is a very expensive country to show
Yeah.
off. You know what I mean? And they have such great concepts, and you could do such cool Kirby shit with it.
Yeah.
That Black Panther would be
That would be cool.
dope.
Yeah.
So dope.
I can't think of anybody that needs their own. What I would like to come back is the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
That show was so good
Yeah.
that when I realized it was only like, what, 2 seasons?
One season, man.
One season.
26 episodes.
One season. It did so much in one season.
And in that last episode, they mentioned Jon Stewart. And
Yeah.
you're just like, oh,
You're just like, what? And you're
And
never
then it ends,
coming
you're like,
back.
"Son of a
God
damn it."
And then I wanted to, so Green Lantern Corps should come back.
that'd be great.
You want to take the next one?
Green-eyed trombonist. If you
Wait,
could
here's
co-
another one. Animated Lady Liberators. Done. Get it.
Oh, there you go. Voiced by all
A-Force.
live action actors.
If you could combine 2 movies into one new superhero movie, which 2 would you do, and which one would you choose?
2 movies into
2
one
movies
new
into one new
super movie.
superhero movie. Okay, 2 existing already?
Well, I
Sure.
don't know. It's let's break
Well-
it down for a little bit. If you could combine 2 movies into one new super movie.
Oh,
Not
super
mega
movie.
movie.
Just
Like a
Super
mega
movie.
movie.
Oh,
Like-
I thought I read superhero movie.
Which 2 would
One
you choose?
New super
question.
movie. That is a very good question. Ant-Man's definitely got to be in there somewhere. Probably Ant-Man and Spider-Man, maybe.
That would be good.
That'd
Wouldn't that be
Bug
fun?
Boys.
So much fun.
Bug Boys. Would
Bug
be good.
Boys?
Bug
Yeah.
Boys.
Bug Boys the movie?
Yeah,
Bug
they could be
Boys.
the Bug Boys.
That would actually be really fun.
that'd be really good.
Maybe Science Bros would be cool. That's the
Oh, that
Stark
would be
Banner
cool.
movie.
Yeah.
That would be dope. That'd be. I mean, yeah, because we just got Hulk Thor as
Yeah,
one sort
yeah.
of movie.
They're
Yeah.
good. They're a good comic duo.
Let's see. What would I pick? If you combine two movies. Man, that's a really good question.
You know what
This
I
is
just
any
read?
movie.
Okay, it's pipe dream, but I just read a comic book. I
Uh-huh.
brought it over the other night. Star Trek, Green Lantern.
Oh, right. you
Oh,
did read
that's
that.
right. I
Yeah.
remember
and it
that,
was
yeah.
fucking great.
good?
It was so
It was
like it's
good?
this weird like one-off. Like what would happen if? Spoiler alert: everything in the Green Lantern universe, meaning the DC universe,
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
And as a last-ditch effort, they were able to pop into this new universe, the future world of our world, Star Trek, where there's the Starship Enterprise, and it had the versions of Star Trek from the J.J. Abrams movies.
Oh, cool.
And like
That's
it had
awesome.
Uhura, she got like a violet ring.
Yeah.
And Chekhov, rest in peace, Anton Yelchin, he got hope.
Yeah.
He became a Blue Lantern. And then at the very end, Spock became he became a White Lantern.
He was a White Lantern. That's dope.
Because he could contain all the emotions because he was emotion because he had everything. It was just like this. It was this fucking fan moment after fan moment where I was like, "This is dope." You had Kilowog on the bridge of the ship, like, "Which one of these makes it go faster?" It was like, that's
awesome.
That's cool. That'd be so.
I would actually really like to see RoboCop and the Terminator.
Yep, another great. That was a comic book crossover. Another great one.
That'd be really fun.
Damn, son.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really fun. I think that'd be a really interesting take because the Terminator can be pretty agile, whereas RoboCop isn't, but he's very tactical.
He's a man's brain.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's super.
Augustine,
and just to fuck everything up, Iron Giant and a Doctor Doom movie.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
How would that go?
Interesting.
I don't like it.
I know you don't. That's why I said it would fuck
Dr. Doom would take over.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The Giant and make him a bad guy again.
And you'll be.
But then he fights out of it because he's Superman.
He's the Giant.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question comes from Claire. 58.
Who?
I don't know.
Who the fuck?
Who
the fuck said that?
Ooh, what actress would you like to see get a second chance as a superhero?
What actress? Actress.
Actress.
Person.
I really like Jennifer Gardner and Halle Berry, and I think they were done a disservice with Catwoman and Elektra.
And Storm.
Yeah, I would say that Storm. They could have done a lot better with Storm. I would like to see them come back as real prominent characters. I don't care if it's Marvel or DC, honestly, or if it's in the Valiant universe, maybe. But I would like to see them get brought back in and given prominent roles.
I don't have anybody that I would like to see brought back because I feel like everybody who we've seen so far has done a pretty good job with the material that they had.
And Ben Affleck got redemption. Ryan Reynolds got redemption. Chris Evans got redeemed.
So, Jessica Alba.
Depends on what Actually, Jessica Alba would make a fantastic Tigra. Greer Nelson, I think.
Maybe.
Was that her name? Greer? Fuck, I gotta look up Tiger's
I don't know.
name. Hang on.
I don't know, but honestly, I feel like we should be moving forward with these things. Like it'd be good. How I can't even think of anybody that would.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the camp of like if they can find a great role, maybe some sort of a leadership role for them.
Right.
Nelson, I got it right.
That'd be great. But I'm also very interested in kind of what they've been doing now is bringing in new blood, new actors into this.
Oh, I was about to say Angela Bassett, but she's going to be in Black Panther.
Yup.
I was about to say she got screwed over.
She's wearing my blanket too.
Yeah.
She's wearing your blanket.
My blue and yellow blanket.
Maybe Willem Dafoe. Give him something else. He's got such a good face.
Yeah, he is
great. Green Goblin.
But he's an Aquaman.
Damn, they got everybody. I was about to say J.K. Sipp. Shit,
he's Commissioner Joker
now.
Should have been the Joker.
Yep.
There's too many roles, man. Next one is
Superlot.
What is your favorite movie to watch at Halloween?
Halloween.
I mean, did we just watch it?
We just watched it actually. Yeah, we watched it last weekend. It was so
that's
fun.
Your favorite one, Hector. You don't do scary movies.
Not really, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a scary movie. It could be something like like
Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, like Hocus
Pocus is a good
Nightmare
one.
Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Halloween Town. Those old Disney movies are fun.
That's a Christmas movie and a Halloween.
It is. It is.
I like to scare the shit out of myself for no good reason.
The Vavitch.
The Vavitch is pretty scary. The Shining, The Exorcist. All those fucking terrifying movies.
I honestly, when it comes to October, particularly October, I kind of like to just watch anything that is sort of in the thriller horror genre.
Absolutely. Just to get yourself in the mood. It's nice.
Yeah, I really don't have a limit. I kind of just want to absorb anything and everything. And even if it's movies, I've seen Halloween so many times.
Yeah.
Halloween 2.
You have all of them.
They're just fun to watch. They're just really entertaining. On a night when I just need to get some work done and I kind of just want something in the background, just pop in Halloween. I know the whole movie, but it's a fun watch.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'll say Get Out.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I want to rewatch it. I haven't seen it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I love it. Okay.
Last question from the Patreon. From the Discord. Davlin? Davlin? 20s? Snack of choice at the movies and at home watching movies. Hector has gotten me addicted to buying popcorn and putting M&Ms in them. You do plain M&Ms. I do peanut M&Ms.
Attaboy. I like the crunch ones.
Yeah, those. Oh, yeah. I mean the ones with the rice, the rice cracklies in them.
Yeah.
Those
delicious.
Oh, my mouth just started watering. At home, I don't. I don't have I don't keep snacks at home because I will be super fat if I keep snacks at home.
You'll eat
so
them all.
I'll get home and I'll just eat all the snacks.
Yeah.
And then I feel like shit.
I like to have dinner and watch a movie. Do you know what I mean? I like to like
Kelly
go get
cooks.
like. Yeah, I like to
Or
go
it's a good
like,
idea.
go get good, trying to get healthy food,
Yeah.
and then sit down and a nice warm meal, and then
Yep.
eat it, and then pop in, start watching a movie.
If it's a movie theater, I don't know. Like I'm kind of weird about it. A lot of times I don't get anything at the theater because I don't want to be distracted. I just want to like watch the movie.
And I always finish everything in the trailers anyway.
Yeah, exactly. At the very least, I'll get a drink, and if I get a candy, I'll usually either get Goobers or Bunch of Crunch.
Goobers.
Or Reese's Pieces.
And spend $80.
Sometimes popcorn. It really depends. But if I'm at home, I'm kind of in the same camp as you, Hector.
Yeah.
I either will make my own popcorn,
or
I'll like have some snacks, like some candy or something, Swedish fish or whatever, or I'll just make a meal. But usually I'm working.
Yeah,
on
I know. Usually I'm either
not
playing
really,
video
like, eating a lot
games
of
or
stuff.
like doing something else.
Ice cream at home.
Ice cream's good. Hector, what about you?
Actually, I do like ice cream. I also love like just like a Corona in a movie.
Yeah.
Just like a nice like easy light beer.
Throw a little lime in there.
It's just man. Pop in Fast Five, have a Corona.
That's the best.
Familia.
Oh man, when we did a Fast and the Furious marathon at Hector's house, we had barbecue and Coronas.
We'll get you on that train at some point, Augustine. We'll get you.
Eventually.
We'll get
So
you.
good.
I got to do it on my own, I think.
No, you got to do it.
No.
No,
We got
don't
you,
do it on
buddy.
your own because
Okay,
you'll hate
baby.
it.
Because I'll hate
You'll
it.
come back and be like, guys, those movies are fucking stupid. We'll be like, we know. You
I
have
know.
to
You
watch
gotta-
it with us.
Exactly. You need the
Come on.
barbecue and the
That's true.
Coronas
And
and
the
the
drinking
fam.
game. And the drinking game.
Yes,
That's true.
The drinking
Okay.
game's so fun.
Right?
Okay.
Anytime they use
I'll
Nas.
wait. I'll wait.
Take
I'll
a
wait.
shot.
Oh God, you're so messed up by the end of those movies. Okay, we're gonna take some questions from the Twitter audience now. Lux Tolly asks, if you could add one more hero into the Justice League setup, who would it be and why? Not including anyone that they've already introduced.
Martian Manhunter.
Of course, Martian Manhunter.
John Jones.
That's the only good answer. Next question.
Unite the Seven.
Next
I mean,
question.
Green Lantern is the other one.
Yeah,
No, Martian.
but
It's
they've
got
already
to be
announced his
Martian
movie.
Manhunter, dude.
They
Yeah,
announced his movie.
it's got to be
Martian
Martian
Manhunter,
Manhunter.
played
That's
by a
the
great
only
black
answer.
actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, aside from Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl's the other one.
Oh yeah, Shayera Hall. That would be such another great love letter to the show, the cartoon show.
Yes.
To be like
Push her aside.
to have
Do
another.
that Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Push her aside.
Come on, don't do that.
Get out of here. Martian Manhunter needs to be in these movies.
I mean,
yeah.
He needs
would-
to be in these movies.
About the Justice League, it's a solid lineup. It would be great to have another black guy or another lady. Like imagine if Justice League was like Wonder Woman and Hawk Girl,
Yeah.
or Hawk Woman, and then if it was a Cyborg and John Stewart Green
Jones.
Lantern, or
Yeah.
Cyborg and Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
got two black guys, we got two ladies,
Cool.
we got
Whoa,
8
whoa,
people
whoa,
on the
cool
team.
it, Hector.
I know.
This isn't
We've hit our
BET.
quota. We've hit our
this
quota.
is not
No.
BET, buddy. All right? Cool it. Cool
It's not
it.
BET. I don't see anybody on the Suicide Squad asking for it, so
Yeah.
it's not BET.
So this is not BET.
Hector, next question.
okay.
This is not Telemundo, Hector.
Colt Badeau asks, would you eat a porg with ketchup or hot sauce?
Always go with the hot sauce. Ketchup, not so much. It's always gonna be the hot sauce. Ghost
definitely.
pepper hot
It's
sauce.
just fried up like some wings, like some chicken wings. I could do that.
I would not.
I
The
could
question
fuck with
is, would you eat a Wookiee? And if your answer is no, because Chewbacca's a character, what's the
I
difference?
say no
What's
because
the
it's
difference?
gotta be a bitch to kill one.
Yeah.
Like
You come across a dead one.
no, I wouldn't eat a
You
dead
have to be
animal.
like
There you
on
go.
Kashyyyk somewhere.
Yeah,
You
you
come
have to
across
like.
a freshly dead. You go to a market and they're like, we have Wookiee. Would you eat a meat Wookiee thing?
That guy would not be alive.
A Wookiee sandwich
I
with some hot
right.
sauce.
wouldn't
right.
try. I wouldn't try it because people say that human doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
They're very human-like. I
Yeah.
can't imagine like a big, strong, sinewy creature could taste very good.
All right. Well, you apparently have never seen the TV show Hannibal because he makes that shit look delicious. Yeah.
I've never wanted to eat a brain before in my life.
I've never thought about
He
cannibalism.
gourmets that shit up and it looks
Oh,
great.
God. Next question.
Mark. Oh, hey, it's Graphiture. Our buddy Mark,
Buddy.
who drew that. No, he didn't draw that one. He drew that other poster that's up
Oh, yeah,
on the
the-
wall.
the Vanquish
and
Cool.
he drew all three of us
Yeah.
a lot, actually, on
Yeah.
other shows. So,
Yeah.
good guy.
Go follow him, go follow him.
Yeah. Captain Marvel will partly be taking place in the 90s.
Oh.
What 90s related things would you like to hear or see in the movie? Or would you like to see or hear in the movie? That dong, da dong, dong, dong. Let's get some dong song in there. Let's get some...
What
Let's
was like
get
a
some chokers.
revolutionary 90s thing?
Let's get some chokers. Let's get some Jinko
Like
jeans.
the internet, like floppy
yeah,
disks.
Yeah, floppy
Floppies.
disks.
Yeah.
AIM, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Is Vanilla Ice more 80s or 90s?
Vanilla Ice is 90s.
90s,
straight
right?
up early 90s.
Yeah.
All right, stop. Like
early 90s.
Carol Danvers.
Let's
collaborate and listen.
Let's get her listening to some Biggie.
Yeah.
Let's get her listening to some Tribe Called Quest.
Yep.
What else? What else was very 90s?
What else do we want to see?
Biggie.
Trying to think what else
Exactly.
we can see.
That's the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes you love
Super
shit,
trends of the
sometimes
90s, man. I'm trying to think.
man.
It's got to be mostly like fashion stuff.
Well, yeah, it's the Janko jeans.
Yeah.
It's the Britney Spears look that she had when she
that's
first
It
came
was
right.
out.
late 90s.
Late
Yeah,
90s.
that was
like
late
99.
90s. I mean, boy bands were a thing, so
Yeah.
she's probably going to be listening to a boy band.
For sure.
What else? What else?
I mean, we've had a lot.
All I remember from the 90s is my breakdancing days. So it's just
You
all
and
I
Pooch.
remember from that was just breakdancing and hip hop, and that's all.
Yeah.
Like that's all.
I mean,
did.
those were kind of the staples of the 90s, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was like gangsta rap.
Yeah.
What kind of pop boy bands were just
Boy bands.
incredibly huge?
And Sinks in the Backstreets. and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. That was huge. What else? What else was big?
Movie
pretty much
wise,
hit it
like,
all,
Movie
dude.
wise,
what was like? I'm
Terminator.
trying to think of like what's the
Arnold Schwarzenegger
what's
was
the
huge.
yes
True
I'm,
Lies.
That's the thing.
Huge.
I'm trying to think of like what's the Captain
Yeah.
America list of things you've missed.
Tom
Yeah.
Cruise, like Tom Cruise,
Movie
was
stars.
just
Tom
like
Cruise, Sly,
hitting it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Julia
Yeah.
Roberts,
Julia-
Nicole
oh,
Kidman,
Julia
Sandra
Roberts
Bullock.
was huge.
Sandra Bullock
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
later 90s.
Yeah,
Keanu
definitely.
was like kind of making it out there in the
Space
late 90s.
Jam.
Space Jam.
Michael Jordan.
Duh.
Duh.
Hello.
Duh.
Wayne Gretzky. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude. I didn't know what hockey was, and I knew who Wayne Gretzky was. I'm just like,
Yeah.
of course, this guy's the greatest.
Yeah.
Duh.
So much
Same.
good stuff.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
All that
question,
good
though.
stuff.
Timmy Drake asks, comic question. What do you think of Bruce and Selina's engagement? I need to know your guys' opinion. I'm hella stoked, by the way.
I actually haven't read any of that yet.
I don't even know what's going on.
I've been kind of dipping in and out of some DC stuff, sort of catching up on some of the Rebirth titles that I missed. Bruce is Batman.
Yeah.
Selina
No,
Catwoman.
I-
Kidding.
my manager was talking to me about it. He doesn't. He's not a comic book reader.
Yeah.
But he's like, this is big news.
Yeah.
He comes up to me. He's like, what do you think of these two getting engaged? And he was like reading kind of like gossip articles on them and like, will he do it? Will he not do it? I don't know. I think I don't think he's gonna do it.
I think through with it.
I think it's such an interesting. Their relationship has always been so interesting in the comic
Well,
books.
he proposed, and I think she said yes. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. So it's a question of like, well, what
Are they-
next?
How committed are
when?
they?
Like,
Yeah.
how is this wedding gonna go?
Oh, well, I think
Like,
that's
what
an
are
interesting
they-
thing. Like those two have had such an interesting sort of up and down roller coaster relationships in the comic books for decades and decades and decades. I'm kind of at the point of like either fucking commit to it or just don't do it. Like at this point, I'm kind of over the back and forth.
absolutely.
You know, Superman and Lois Lane, they went for it. They got married. They did it. It was a whole thing in the comic books. Nailed it.
I see that too. But then again, New Girl was ruined when those two got together.
Oh,
when
you might be right.
Joey Deschanel and Nick, whatever his name is, got together.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe you need that sexual frustration in there.
Maybe.
I don't know, man.
Maybe he should always be chasing her.
I love Peter Parker and Mary Jane married. I really like Lois and Clark married, especially now that they have a son in the Rebirth storyline. And I also am one of the people that really, really like the ending of The Dark Knight Rises. Bruce gets a happy ending.
Right.
That's
With
awesome.
Selina.
Yeah,
I
but
also
Bruce is a tragic character.
Yes, I also love the version of Batman Beyond where he's 90 years old and alone
and pissed
never,
off.
never even got in.
Yeah.
No, it was never even an option for him. He's Batman and was Batman until
That's
he had.
all I care
like,
about.
I'm fine with either one of those. So yeah, this is rad. As long as we get some cool comic book stories out of it.
Yeah.
Don't fridge her. Don't make
Yeah,
Selina a character who
absolutely.
dies tragically and then it's Batman. How will he cope? Don't do that. But you know, if they end up getting divorced, hey
Catwoman's
man,
too good for that.
Yeah.
hey man, most marriages do too. So you know.
Next question.
You are very optimistic, Hector.
We've kind of answered some of this, but Mohit Gadam 1 asks, what were your favorite cartoon/animated superhero shows growing up? Mine was Justice League Unlimited. Also, love to you guys from India. Love to
Thank you very much.
in India. Thank you so much.
Growing
Mohit
up,
Gadam.
Growing up.
I
Mohit, got
mainline Nickelodeon. Like you could have pulled that out of my veins. I watched so much Nickelodeon.
Nick.
I love
Nickelodeon.
the old school Looney Tunes, Disney classics,
Tiny Toons?
Tiny Toons. But I'm talking like the 1950s
Oh, for
Looney
sure.
Tunes.
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
talking like
absolutely.
the 50s,
reruns
40s,
of
and
that.
30s
Yeah.
Disney animated shorts. All
Bro.
that stuff. I grew up on that.
Cartoon
stuff.
Network and Disney were like,
But guys, I think you guys missed the question.
Superhero.
I know. Well,
Hit Gotham specifically
animated.
says favorite cartoon/animated, which are kind of interchangeable, but cartoon/animated superhero shows growing up.
I know.
You're coming in with the
Challenge of the Super Friends.
True. Oh, so good.
Really, that was your favorite? What was my favorite?
I mean, look.
Well, because
we were
that for
growing
me,
up.
I saw that before I saw Batman the Animated
Sure.
Series.
That makes sense.
And then I kind of discovered Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond.
Yep.
So like those to me, those shows from like the 70s and the 80s, Challenge of the Super Friends and whatever all the other iterations
the reruns.
were.
That was it.
Those were my shows that I kind of was like, oh yeah, the comic book characters. But then you got to Batman the Animated Series, and I'm like, ooh, I like these.
We also had
Put it up a
X-Men
notch.
and Spider-Man
X-Men.
the animated series.
true.
And X-Men to me,
Spider-Man,
it was X-Men, the one that aired with Spider-Man, not X-Men Evolution. X-Men Evolution was.
I loved it.
I thought it was okay. I just couldn't. To
like
me, X-Men.
It got better
on Fox
in,
was like gritty and great.
Season 3. Because like X-Men
I don't know if I
Evolution
stayed
had
on
this
that long.
weird thing. Probably not. I don't think a lot of people did. X-Men Evolution had this weird thing where like the first season and 2 were like the kids in high school.
Yeah.
The principal's mystique. It's all high school bullshit.
Yeah, that's right.
At the end of season 2, no joke, the X-Mansion blows up. Like Jean Grey goes missing. Professor Xavier goes missing. I'm pretty sure that that's what happened. And they went on the run. It's kind of similar to X-Men.
X2.
It's kind of similar to X2, but it's kind of similar to Wolverine and the X-Men. I feel like at the end of that season, that's what happens. And then in season 3, they get new costumes.
Interesting.
Like Wolverine goes to the brown.
Oh, okay.
No, Wolverine goes to like the
original brown and yellow.
Well, did
think
he
he
have
goes
that, or
brown
did he
and
have the
yellow.
Ultimate X-Men costume with no skull cap? Whatever the case was,
I don't remember.
seasons 3 and 4 was like full on X-Men.
Yeah.
Like they moved. They were like, we're not even.
I think
They're like,
season
we
1
can't
and
even
2,
be in high
he
school
had
anymore.
he
Who
had the brown
cares?
and yellow, yeah.
Scott Summers was like, we shouldn't even be attending classes anymore. Like we have to deal with this threat, like Sentinels and Apocalypse and all this crazy shit. And then like seasons 3 and 4 were like dope.
Okay,
So-
I need to go straight to season 3 then.
Maybe.
Because I tried watching that show, I could not.
It's tough. It's definitely they're trying to
Could
do
not do
16
it.
candles
Yeah.
by way of
Could
X-Men and then
not
later.
Do it. Okay,
Anyway,
so if we're
all
doing
those.
superheroes, no, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was mine.
Classic.
And also,
Oh, for sure.
right after that,
That was
the
my
show
morning cereal.
Freakazoid, very underrated.
Freakazoid.
He was a
Runs around in
superhero.
underwear, freak of me, freak of you.
And I remember laughing so hard at that cartoon because I hadn't seen a cartoon at that point go so extreme and be such a parody of itself. And they did a really good job. I love the way he flew too.
Yeah,
Like
that
this
was a good
and-
one.
and
That
he
was a good
ran.
one.
That was great.
Next question.
Next question, you handle this one because
you'll know the
that's
answer.
your-
Okay.
I still haven't seen Smallville. So.
At Sri Kumar 625 asked, "Does Smallville still hold up?" Yes, it does.
And no. Actually, that's not fair. I haven't
off.
revisited. I haven't revisited it in years, but I do know that like look, man, what's the number one complaint that we'll have with even the new CW shows? What is the number one thing that we're like, here's why these shows aren't
They're long.
That's it. Too many episodes.
Sure.
And it's just TV was a different time. TV's a different thing.
Back
depending,
then,
you know,
like that TV was like, oh, fun! I want 20 episodes of
Yes.
this. Now it's like,
But
I
now
want
you're
12.
like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even
10.
even with Smallville, you're like each season really could be pared down to 12.
Yeah,
solid 12.
I think honestly, in every season you can sort of find like the most pivotal episodes and just kind of watch those, and the rest is filler. I think a lot of those also deal with, like we were talking about before, there are a lot of moral lessons and just a lot of lessons in general that Clark learns from his parents about who he is, who he should be, who he kind of should sort of aspire to be, and sort of him dealing with his Earth family, Jonathan and Martha, dealing with Jor-El and the history of Krypton and sort of the pressure and the weight that kind of holds. His relationships with Lana, it's up and down. With Chloe, with Lois at some point, and most importantly, obviously with Lex Luthor. I think that show still, like the life lessons that show and those sort of the moral questions that it asked, and a lot of the themes of that show will always be pivotal and strong and important because they deal with the things that Superman has dealt with sort of since his inception. So I think it's great. Yeah.
Cool.
Last topic of the night, Xena Goldspink. Xena Goldspink, good name. How much of a hit will Justice League take over the recent Ben and Jason news coming out? How will it affect marketing? Very controversial question because that topic I've been arguing with people on Twitter about all week.
Really?
Yeah, people have been coming at like because I posted like people only apologize when they get caught and like all this stuff because whatever like people are doing scumbaggy things in Hollywood, and it sucks. Like,
this week has been...
And then people are getting called out, and I don't want to blame or point fingers or like say, yeah, that's wrong, or yeah, like that's absolutely terrible, because it's not my place to judge. But at the same time, there are a lot of people who I've already seen say they're going to boycott anything that Ben Affleck is in. And there's a lot of... And I also don't want to downplay people who have gotten hurt and offended by this as well. Like those people also need to speak their mind, and they need to feel comfortable talking about this kind of thing because something terrible has been done to them. But at the same time, to keep this on the superhero topic, these actors have PR teams that are going to try to spin this and brush everything under the radar so that we don't focus on that. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a lot of Ben Affleck and Batman stuff in the next couple of weeks leading up to the movie. Like, don't be surprised if he's not in any of the press junkets, because you know that's the only thing they're going to talk to him about. We might not even see too much of Jason Momoa there either. Yeah, I think they're going to focus hard on Gal.
Question for you. Sure. Question for you. Did Jason Momoa come out and say anything about this statement?
Did he really? Did he apologize?
Okay. I think he did.
He made a post on Instagram. It may have made its way over to Twitter. The other thing too, Jason Momoa is he made that comment in 2011. Yeah. And I guess since then, I think he has said this in interviews, and I think, people have sort of from press junkets from other movies, after he made that comment, because I'm sure someone said something about it, because if you look at that panel, there are a lot of uncomfortable people on that panel. He seemed to have done a lot of sort of soul searching and really did a lot of research into the topic of rape and harassment and abuse. And I think one of the movies that he helped write very much dealt with that.
I think you're right.
I don't
specifically with Native people, with First Nations people, and their stories and stuff like that.
Because of how much that sort of was a prominent part of their history.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of addressed it head on, and I think obviously because now of what's been going on, a lot of people have sort of been digging around to find these sort of videos and audio bits to kind of use against people. And for some people, it's very justified because there are people who've done horrible things out there. But I think also when you do kind of go back and you do look at the things that people have said and done, you also owe it to them and owe it to yourself to do research as to what have they done since then to sort of
where are they now?
Right.
Exactly. Especially for a really, really, really misinformed and ignorant attempt at a joke is what Jason Momoa did.
That's what it was.
Right.
And it's a thing where, and I think I saw some of that stuff about the things that he's been saying recently and how you're saying he's sort of hitting it head on. So maybe Jason Momoa is the guy that's like, look, I'm going to do press for Justice League. If I get a question about this, great opportunity to talk about so-and-so project. Great opportunity to say, hey, I fucked up. I grew. I know now this, and that's something
I did this movie,
and that's honestly great if that is what ends up happening. And like you're saying, Augustine, you said wouldn't be surprised if Ben Affleck's not there. I kind of agree with you, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Momoa is there with that sort of attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, wouldn't be surprised if Momoa wasn't there. Wouldn't be surprised. Look, man, months and months and months ago, I did press junket for Pirates of the Caribbean. Do you think Johnny Depp was there? Hell no.
Exactly.
That stuff did not surprise.
He's going through his divorce
and going through possible allegations of being domestic abuser. There's no way that these PR teams, these companies, will like allow that sort of be like, oh yeah, go do it. And the guy's not even going to want to do interviews.
Plus, in that sort of situation, their reps, their PR teams, they will screen your questions too.
Sure.
And heck, I mean, you know firsthand, there's a person glaring at you from the other side of that camera, hoping and just wishing you would fuck up just to shut you down. Just be like, nope. No, you can't ask that.
Could you not?
Can we stick to the thing? Can we stick to
But in any case, like you're saying, Adam, when people are finding this, and it's now the internet age, when somebody gets cast on Saturday Night Live, one of the common things people do is be like, oh, you're a comedian? Let's check your Twitter feed. And then that comedian will delete old tweets that may have been in poor taste, that may have been without context, that may have been whatever. Or, no, rightfully so, call them out on your bullshit. I think it's a case-by-case basis. I think a lot of people, and especially men, fuck up. I think that there's honest mistakes being made, and I think that there's stuff that are part of those sort of systemic problems. Again, Jason Momoa's comment, to some, they'll look at it and go, it was just a bad joke. But to a lot of people, it's like, well, here's the thing. That's part of the larger problem of when people talk about rape culture. That's literally part of it. This culture of like, we can joke about
just making a joke about it.
Yes. And the other thing, people have been raped. People don't like talking about it because it's something that they have gone through.
And it has nothing to do about being overly sensitive. Jason Momoa doesn't know if people on that panel who felt uncomfortable were maybe at some point harassed or raped.
Somebody in the audience.
It's very possible. Somebody in the audience who feels uncomfortable because now the person in the audience looks at that and says, "Oh, it's a funny thing. You can laugh at it."
No, they could have been like, "Well, he just made a rape joke. I've been raped. Why is everybody laughing at this?" Like,
yeah, man.
None of these people know
and it
what
makes you
it's
feel
like.
even more uncomfortable and less sort of, I don't know. You don't want to speak out on the topic,
right?
You know,
It's tough.
It's all about empathy.
Right.
It's all about being able to see other people's perspectives, and at the same time, with the sort of case by case basis, it is also about recognizing and identifying like there are systemic problems in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
Yes, men that are in positions of power take advantage of that shit. Certain actors will take it. Producers, we've seen it. Directors, it happens. We've seen it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a hit this movie's necessarily going to take. That's tough to say.
Yeah.
If people are saying I'm going to boycott so and so, that's their right.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
not. People do that all the time with actors. Creative people that make films or whatever TV shows that they'll disagree with. I know people that have boycotted Tom Cruise because of Scientology. People that have boycotted Mel Gibson, his anti-Semitic comments. People that even have boycotted Robert Downey Jr. for being a drug addict. Right. I worked at Blockbuster Video. When Iron Man came out on DVD, and I was like, "Oh, you got it." I'm like showing everybody. I'm like, "No, you got to see this. This is great." I'll never forget. A woman came up with her husband, and the guy was like, "Oh, no. I read Iron Man comics when I was a kid. No, thanks. This is in 2008.
Yeah.
Like he missed it in theaters. Like he didn't know that this was like a good movie." And the woman, I was like, "No, it's great. It's awesome." Blah blah blah. The woman was like, Robert Downey Jr. once a drug addict, always a drug addict." And that really offended me. That really like blew me away.
That's the way to offend Hector.
Blew me away of like, man, like give a person a shot.
Yeah.
Whether he is or he isn't right now, none of us know.
Yeah.
But as far as we know, this is an actor who like literally cleaned up his act.
Yeah.
And then now he's one of the biggest movie stars in the world. That's cool, right? We should be rooting for people to
absolutely
to
he's
learn
himself up. That's the American
to
story.
recover. To look at that's the American dream.
American story.
If Jason Momoa says he learned, then honestly support him. That's great.
Right.
And
also,
that he
on
can
the other
recognize.
hand, don't blame the victim. Like, don't go out and victim blame and automatically assume that these women are just out to get something.
Sure.
Because
Can't do that.
most of these women have absolutely nothing to gain and actually might put their careers on the line by coming out.
Yeah, man.
So it's a really, really tough situation to be in for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, even Terry Crews came out and said something about it.
Oh my God,
he was like, "I'm a 240-pound black man.
Yeah.
Imagine if I stomped on an executive, how that would look."
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy, man.
They don't have anything to gain. They have a lot to lose.
But just a great example of like people in Hollywood get taken advantage of. Actors, period.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
If you're Terry Crews and getting taken advantage of, imagine if you're
grabbing at you. Oof.
I can't imagine the kind of bravery it takes to go up to Terry Crews, grab his junk, and smile at him.
I'll tell you what, it's not bravery. It's because that person knew that they had the ability to do that and get away with it.
That
do you know what I mean?
Terrible word.
It's that power. That's all it is. So that was such a great. I mean, such an incredible thing to see a guy say, if I can feel this way and something like this can happen to me, he goes, of course it happens to women all the time.
Okay,
my God.
bravery is a terrible word.
No, but I know what you're saying.
Scumbaggery.
Because it's like,
scumbaggery.
That's fucking Terry Crews. And somebody still messed with him. And a couple other actors have said the same thing. They're
male
like,
actors.
They're like, dude, I've been grabbed at. I've been this and this and that. So there's stuff to address. I don't know how this is going to affect box office. I don't know.
There's no way to tell right now.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's no way to tell.
I hate to say it. I mean, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. I don't think it really will. I think if people want to see Justice League, they'll see it. I mean, for me personally, I think it's horrible when things like this happen. At the end of the day, for me, I'm more invested in the characters. To me, the characters mean more to me than the characters mean more to me than the actors. Yeah. At the end of the day, and it's hard. It's
and
really
what sucks
hard.
is that when you have that though, the actors still benefit from it.
Right.
So it's like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Exactly.
And talking to you guys and we do a superhero show, but we can't boycott the movie because
there's a bunch of different things. Because at the same time, an actor, somebody will fuck up there's an entire team of human beings that have been getting paychecks and are depending on this thing to succeed. And now I'm not talking about a famous director. I'm talking about like, crew people.
Grip.
Yeah.
The grip who worked on this thing. It's like you see those, pirating is illegal because all these other people work on these movies and the way that the industry's going and all these different factors to take into account. But again, if somebody decides, no, I'm going to not, vote with my dollars.
Yeah, you have that right.
Great. You do whatever you have to do. Absolutely. That's fair.
Agreed.
And don't let people judge you for it either.
No, man. No. You just got to do you, boo-boo.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to end the show.
Let's end it
Guys,
right there.
before we go, got to let you know that we are going to be at TwitchCon Friday, October 20th. We have a panel at 105 in the main expo hall. If you're down in Long Beach, please come. We'd love to meet some of you guys. We're going to talk about, obviously, all the latest breaking news. Maybe if there's a trailer. We don't really know. We can't predict the future. We're going to be talking about some new content that we're going to be bringing to Twitch under the Hyper Heroes brand. We're very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And if you're coming from San Diego, bring us California burritos.
Please, for the love of God,
From
bring
Lolitas.
California burritos.
Please.
Please.
All right, let's
I'll
get out
buy
of
you
here.
a drink.
Let's get out of here.
Hector, where can we find you?
Man, we might get some burritos. That's crazy to think about.
I really hope so.
God, man. That's too much. You can find me on the internet at Hector is Funny.
We're in the future.
Future.
Find me at L_Santo Taco.
And you just find me at Adam Havoc. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.